Good evening, folks. Welcome to Reaching Out with Ed. I hope everyone had a safe weekend. I know y'all love that song now, Keep On Loving Me. Folks, I want to talk about a couple of things. We're going to let you know some things today. But before I really want to get started is that um, I wanted to talk about how uh, folks, I had a couple of titles for this show here. And I think Don't Hate the Messenger. I think that's a very good title. How you doing, Richard?
Very good.
And how you doing, Dice?
I'm good, man.
But before I get started, folks, last week when I was talking, extending my condolences to the Franklin family, to, the Walker family, Tavia Rand, Inspire Walker, Ron Bradsford, his family, he had passed, and I was extending my condolences to him. And while I was doing that, I didn't know that Marie Franklin had passed. And I tell you, folks, that was a blow to me. So we won't be seeing our sister soldier more again. And she was a soldier. She was a strong mother, a strong black woman, a strong grandmother, a strong wife. I mean, a strong friend. And she will be missed. Marie Franklin was loved and if you didn't like her, you couldn't do nothing but respect her because she was no nonsense. She didn't lie to you. She didn't play any games. This was a blow to Reaching Out with Eddie. It was a blow to me, to the Dice man. Richard, did you know about it?
Yeah, I heard about it.
And I tell you, folks, it was just really, really horrible. We never expect that. And so, of all the condolences, I like to extend my condolences to that family. And I don't think that it's my privilege to say when the arrangement is going to be, and I'm not going to, but I can say that she was loved very much, and we going to miss her here Reaching Out with Eddie. Anything you want to say, Dice?
Man, I concur most definitely. It was a shocking blow, especially behind everything else that's been happening. And we definitely going to miss her, man. She was a soldier. We go back to the radio days when she was coming to the radio station. So, yeah, condolences to her husband and children.
Yeah, and I got to say this, that she just lost her mother. I mean, Robert, man, if you need us for anything, man, we'll come running to do whatever we need to do to help you out and make sure you be okay going through this time now, tomorrow, and always. And his mother is, Richard, it is really, really heartbreaking to lose a mother and a wife all within a span of, say, 5 to 6 days.
Yeah.
And she will be missed. She have a lot of people that loved her. And anything you wanted to say, Richard?
I would like to say that a lot of time when these things take place, we don't know what to do or how to act. But there will always be others to be able to come and help you. And always look to God for your protection.
That's right. That's right. And I'd like to say this to Lolo, to Trisha Allen. They lost their sister, Irene. And I want to extend my condolences. And Lo was just on the show talking about it last week. And lo and behold, the next day, wow, you get hit twice, with Lo's sister and then Marie Franklin. And anything you want to say on that, Dice? Or
Yeah,
you,
just
Richard?
my condolences to them, too. I had forgotten about that. There's been so many people, but most definitely to the Allen family.
That's right.
I thought I was with you guys.
Yeah. Anything you want to say, Richard?
I agree with what he's saying about the pain and suffering that we go through in life. This is something that we see from time to time. And when it comes closer to us, we feel the great pain of missing one.
And I'm going to change the subject a little bit and just talk about myself for a minute, folks. I don't discuss my personal business with anyone because it's not anyone's business. What I choose to do with my life and what I choose to do with another adult is between me and that person. And some of you seem to want to go to social media and talk about the choices that I make and the choices that other people make. And if your life is just that meaningless, that you have to look at other people's lives and try to decide for them what's best for them, I suggest you look at your own conditions. I assure you that I know something about each and every one of you. But I'm not a Facebook bully. I'm not a social media thug. I'm an individual, and when I fight with the pen. And if anybody think that they know my business or know what's best for me, then come. If you think that you want to sit down and have an honest conversation with me, I'm willing to do that at any time you want to. I like to say this to all of you out there. Get a life. And I got to say this. When an ex-girlfriend find a reason to say, or an ex-boyfriend find reasons to say anything about me and the choices I made, I don't think that person make themselves look good, because if they was in a relationship with me and I'm okay, and then all of a sudden I'm not okay, whatever my conditions are, I can tell you one thing, that Richard, I own all of this right here. Folks, I don't have a payment on this right here. I don't live on public housing. Hey, look, some people have to, but some people make a lifetime of it. Not only them, their parents and their children and their children. I don't get SNAP's benefits. Yes, some people need that and some people do, but I don't. All my bills are paid. Everything I have is paid for. I didn't ask any of you for anything. I would like to say to you, keep my name out of your mouth, because you don't know my business. Understand that. You don't know it, because I'm not going to discuss it with you. And so I'm going to go on, folks, and I can tell you that I'm a pretty good paralegal. And I like to say this, is that I read the interlocutory appeal that Matt Baldridge did for Greg Gillian against Judge Primo. Folks, I can just tell you it was profound. Not only did Attorney Matt Baldridge do that interlocutory appeal to the Supreme Court, he also filed a motion in Chancery Court for Judge Lawrence Primo to recuse himself, of which he should, because there's no it was so good. Yes, I have copies of it. Am I going to read it? No, I'm not. I'm just going to tell you this, is that Attorney Matt Baldridge up in Jackson, in the Jackson area, I think it's Ridgeland, did a stellar job. And at some point of time, it's going to have to be some kind of justice done. The only thing Greg Gillian wants is fairness. Fairness under the law. Not nothing biased, not because the judge knows the defense attorney or the plaintiff's attorney, but under the law, folks. If we do things under the law, according to the law, it erases color, it erases money, it erases all of those things. But when you start meeting in secret, or because the person that's on the opposing side is your best friend or your golf buddy, Richard, we have a problem with the law. We have a problem in America, and these things are not going to be fixed until we remove these people from office, exercising our right to vote, of which a lot of you don't do that. And just on a high note, I know something about everybody that has something to say about me. I know what you said. I didn't go to social media and talk to you. You will see me one day, and we can discuss anything that you want to discuss about me. But you didn't even vote. Richard, they didn't vote.
Yeah.
I'm talking about they did not vote. But they want to talk about me. I think you need to look at your circumstances and what's going on in this city that's in dire straits. And we need to do something about that. Remember, folks, I'm always on the side of the law. I had a couple of people reach out to me. And I'm going to talk about a little of that, Richard. One of the person that reached out to me, his name is Shalane Graham. Shalane Graham was arrested more than 2 years ago. He got into a situation on 44th Avenue with another female. Now, this female, her name is Alicia Yates, she's a white female. She's a convicted felon. She's currently incarcerated in Lauderdale County Jail on new charges. And they have Shalane Graham in jail. Obviously he was in a relationship with her. And so the relationship went bad. He go there to get his clothes. And so she put 5 of her friends, told him to jump him. And of course, and folks, what I'm telling you is what was written and told to me. And so what he did is that when they jumped him, he ran. And now, folks, it was some shooting involved. Who did the shooting? I don't know. Who got shot? I don't know. But I know that he has several charges, including armed robbery. Now, he didn't know anything about that. Now, he admits to vandalizing her vehicle. And that's the reason why she told the guys to jump on him, and so he ran. And folks, so in doing that, he kept on going because he'd been in jail for 3 days. And anybody know that if you've been in jail, he just got out of jail he had been in jail for 6 months and got out, just been out 3 days, so he ran. When he ran, he didn't even stop running too bad. He ran all the way to Texas. He was in Houston, Texas, and then his family member called him and told him he had an armed robbery charge. He said, what? I'm right here. I'm in Houston, Texas. How am I? And so this is under Joe Peters, folks. Joe Peters charged him with armed robbery. Understand, Joe Peters no longer worked for the Meridian Police Department. And so that case been compromised. But the thing of it is that Chris Falgout is his attorney, a very good attorney, filed a motion, a writ of habeas corpus for them to release him. And so they let him see the video. So let's say, now I'm just speculating, let's say he's almost 6 feet tall, but the robber is 4 feet tall. Yes, I can tell it any way I want to. In other words, he's at least 4, 5, 6 inches taller than the person that actually committed the robbery. It's not a situation where it's blurred and you can't see the face. You can actually see on the video that the person that committed the robbery is not him. But they're still holding him in jail. Again, Detective Fireplace is in on this case. So Detective Fireplace, you understand, they didn't get a weapon off him, so they charge him a felon with a handgun. They charge him with aggravated assault. He has 2 possession of felon with a handgun, 1 for the armed robbery, of which you can clearly see that it's not him, and 2 for shooting someone, aggravated assault, of which no witnesses or anything like that, no gun taken off him. This is the kind of thing that we need to get away from with the Meridian Police Department. So I got to come on and tell them at the hearing, it was one judge there, Judge Bailey, and Judge Bailey stepped down and Charles Wright, Judge Wright stepped in. And at this hearing here, Charles Wright denied everything and then told Attorney Falgout to step into his chambers. Now why, Richard? Why would he want the judge, why would he want the attorney to step into his chambers unless he's going to say something that need not to be heard?
Yeah.
But this will be open. This is democracy where it's an open courtroom. There's nothing done in secret. They do this kind of shit in Russia. Now, yes, the judge have that right to do that anytime he want to. Okay, when they call him in there, the guy, Mr. Graham. Now I'm going by what Mr. Graham telling me. Now he said that Attorney Falgout had a noticeable change in behavior. So they're gonna indict you in June or July. Well, it has passed and he still hadn't been indicted. And he's still in jail on a $470,000 bond. $250,000 for a robbery he did commit, and they conceded on the video. But you got Detective Fireplace, Brandon Fireplace, every time it's some kind of hearing, he's there. Now they got his bond so high because they say he's a flight risk. Well, he didn't use a new name. He just used his middle name. My name is Ed. How many people, a lot of people around here know me now as Gray Hope. But at one time, nobody knew my middle name was Gray. Just like my son, Lil G. A lot of you out there don't know his name. It was family members did not know his name. Eventually they got it, and they had to get it from another family member because nobody knew it. But in other words, he didn't have a pseudonymous name. He had his own name, but they're using that as a reason. But the thing of it is, when you give someone a high bond, hear me, judges. When you give someone a high bond, you are convicting them. You're finding them guilty because you're putting them in jail. You're fixing them. The law says that the bond should be fair and reasonable. And a $400,000 bond is not reasonable for somebody that does not have a job. It's supposed to be just enough to neutralize a flight risk, not to keep them in jail, especially for something they did not do. Now, this guy has evidence that he was in the American Inn in room 334, Houston, Texas, when this robbery took place. But the city of Meridian don't care about that. So now I had another person that reach out to me also. I don't want to discuss this too much because the victim got paralyzed, and I got to be empathetic to that. But again, this person also has a high bond. They have him charged with multiple crimes also, felon with a handgun, aggravated assault, shooting into a vehicle, among other things, but they still don't have the gun. Again, I'm on the side of the law, folks. If you don't have the gun because a crime took place, how can you charge them a felon with a handgun if you don't have the gun and you didn't get the gun out of that person's hand? I'll never change on that. I will always stay with that. And so, but other than that, having a high bond, again, I don't agree with that either because the law says you should have a bond. He's a black guy that's in a relationship with a white person. Perhaps maybe that's the reason for him being treated like he's being treated. I'm not gonna say that. The reason why I'm gonna say that because that's how they do. That's just how they do. Well, look
True.
at Graham. Graham is also in a relationship with a white woman, and look what's happened to him. Charges also that with a handgun. They ain't got no handgun off him or from him, but they're charging him a felon with a handgun, 2 counts, 2 belt. Also aggravated assault, also armed robbery, of which he was on the run. Yes, he just didn't want to go back to jail. And which brings me to the new chief of police. Folks, I got to say this, is that Jimmy Smith is kind of playing with us a little bit. He's trying to con the people, and the reason why I say that, he's giving us what we want, but not who we want. And one of my associates said that, and so I'm going to quote him. I'm not going to call his name because I don't know whether he wanted, I don't think he'll, man, what you think, Dice? Do I need to call his name? No, that ain't even necessary, but I just know that I didn't come up with that statement. And anyway, meaning that a black female, a lieutenant, she's qualified. She's very qualified, but it's just that we have someone that's more qualified. And I know the Naylor family. Her maiden name is Naylor. The tool belt, that's Daisy Naylor, if I'm not mistaken. That's her baby sister. Grew up over there on 11th Avenue, and I was told that by somebody. Said, man, you know who that is. That's the Naylors. That's Reverend Naylor's daughter. And so, well, we know the family. But anyway, I want to say this, is that, again, we ignored the qualifications that a Lieutenant Jax has. And I got to say this, is that I want to wait and see if this new chief of police is going to bring in veteran officers. And that, in my opinion, Richard, this is very necessary to bring in veteran officers. Because you're going to need veteran officers to come in and train all those rookies that's working there now that nobody know. A lot of them are not even from here. Also, Lieutenant Jax needs to be used. She needs to be utilized, in my opinion. I ain't gonna tell the new chief of police what to do, but she definitely needs to use Lieutenant Jack. She needs to use her skills, her expertise. Chris Scott also has a lot of skills and a lot of expertise. If people are involved with the decision making and it's based on best friend, it's based on who I like and who I don't like, that's what's wrong with this city, folks. Richard, anything you want to say?
I've seen Lieutenant Jack in 2 different situations where she took on a situation where 2 people had a disagreement, and she was called to the scene. I'm looking from across the streets. She took that situation and she neutralized it, and when she got through, both parties agreed it was okay. And another time I seen a situation where a person was supposed to come to the police station because it was supposed to be some kind of court case. This lady took upon herself to make sure she got the information right and told these people what to do and how to do it. This is a person who's concerned about doing what's right. She's not going to go against the system, and she's not going to go against the law for no one or nobody. This is what I've seen her do in 2 instances.
And I can tell you that Chris Scott also, I know from conversation, I know from talking to other people, that he himself was responsible for a season over $10 million from the interstate. Richard didn't touch any of it. Never touched that. The only person, I think, with the Meridian Police Department that has worked, I think he's the only certified gang. I mean, he's an officer. He's certified to deal with gang. Going to Chicago, one of the worst cities in the United States, and for 7 days and work with those gang units there and learn how to. Man, this is what we need. And because of politics, because of using the department as a place of vengeance and retribution, as a tool, as a political tool, look where we are. Now we have innocent people houses being shot up, babies being killed, and you're having young people shooting and killing each other because we don't have the most qualified people. And this is what I like to welcome the new chief of police and say this to her. You can do a good job. We're waiting to see, and it is my prayer, it is my wish, it is my hope that you go in there and you look at all those cases that the current detective division has arrested folks and put charges on folks. Look at cases like Shalane Graham and Lolo Allen, and look at Eddie Holt case, and look at all of those cases and see if there's evidence. If there's no evidence, those cases need to be all cases that's under the current detective division. This is with Detective Anderson. This is with Detective Brandon Fireplace. This is with Detective Laws. And I want to say this about Laws. I think, you know how a sponge, you take a sponge and put it in water to soak it up?
Yeah.
I still believe that Detective Laws can be a very good officer with the Meridian Police Department. Reason why I say so, because I know his family, and I had privy to deal with him a couple of times. And I just believe that if he's around officers that are not corrupt, officers that are not going to break the law, I still think that he can be saved. And I think with Sodom and Gomorrah, you know, God said if it had been one person there that could righteous, he'd have saved everybody. This is one officer, I think. I may be wrong now. Other people might have a different opinion. Especially Lolo might have a different opinion, but I think he can be saved. But for Brandon Fireplace and Detective Anderson, no, they cannot be saved. They don't know how to talk to people, or in my opinion, they don't have the proper training. I think that you should never arrest anyone based on who you like and based on your emotions, but based on the letter of the law. And I want to say this to the new judge, is that I was very excited that you took that position, and I'm still very excited. But these high bonds, Dustin, come on, man. You know that ain't right, man. You said you was going to bring us something different. And I mean, you didn't say that, but I expected you to bring something different. A high bond is not the way to go. When there's not evidence, Judge Markham, when there's no evidence, Judge Markham, you should not bound anyone over to the grand jury. You should do your duty. And under the duty of the law, the canons of the judiciary, the Bar Association laws and regulations, you're supposed to do. You have a duty. You have an oath to maintain. And I want to beseech you to do that. Again, congratulations on becoming judge. Again, I'm hearing things and I'm seeing things. I think that you're feeling your way, and I still think that you're going to be one of the best judges that we've had around here. And I want to say to everybody that's in those department head positions, if you're in that position for the money, then you're in that position for the wrong reason. If you're in that position to make a difference, then let us see you make a difference. I like to say this to the new chief of police. You was in retirement, and so meaning that you got to have a pretty good income. It is my wish and my hope that you go in and do all those things that need to be done to make Meridian a safe city, and also make that police department professional and non-corrupt. Anything you want to say, Richard?
I agree with just what you said. Non-corrupt. You always want this in any department, because if you don't, whenever someone have a problem, if there's corruption there, it will never be a fair situation.
Yeah, the police department definitely gonna have to be restructured. There's no way that you can continue to lead things like they are. And I'm not saying fire anyone, while I think they should be, and I've said that in the past, but it definitely needs reorganization and it needs restructure. And taking people that are ranked, taking people that are qualified, and not utilizing them would be an indication where this. I just want to watch and see what this new chief of police, again, welcome, and we're gonna watch and see and wait and see what you do. Folks, I got to tell y'all this, and then we're going to go to break. Do you know, I know you go to the news and look at it, about the building collapsing downtown on Front Street. And, folks, you can see it. They pulled the pole down and all that, folks. And I got to say this. See, when you said we can do better, I still agree with you, Mayor Smith. You see, I'm calling him Mayor Smith now. Because, you know, he's doing some things that need to be done. And so, but again, Mayor Smith, we can do better. Now, you know that you appointed Craig Hitt over Stephen Redd, PhD in community development. No problems or anything like that. You made Scott Solid a racist mayor, white mayor, Republican. Yes, he's a racist. He don't do nothing but harass black folks. People done came to me on several occasions where I had to go and speak up for these folks. Scott Siler's a racist. Him and I have clashed on several occasions. I done reported him to the city council. And Jimmy Smith come right in and promote. See, he got a different set of rules. He got one set of rules for white folks, and he got a different set of rules for black folks. See, folks, y'all didn't know that the person that was down there doing the work on that building, Richard, did not have a license. Meaning not a licensed contractor. Tubel, can you believe that? Not a licensed contractor down there doing work. Scott Siler letting him do work. Hold up. No insurance. The city gonna have to eat this. Yes, I said it is true. See what you got there. Craig Hitt, look, I don't know how long they been there. But see again, see how white folks stick together? It's just not right, Richard, that we have a different set of rules right here in this city here, and we have a black administration, and they ain't doing nothing about the obvious racism and the obvious difference in treatment among the citizens in the city of Meridian. We gonna have to do better, folks. This is not right. Scott Siler ass need to be fired. Craig Hitt need to be fired too, Jimmy Smith. Now, am I right or wrong?
You're right. Anytime you have people that are not qualified for anything and you put them in a position, you're actually putting them up to do wrong because they're breaking the law themselves.
And not only that, this is a perfect example of what happened when you take unqualified people and put them in position of authority. They tear the damn building down. That's what's wrong with the police department. Unqualified people such as Patrick Gill and Chris Reed and Detective Anderson and Fireplace being in position of authority, they tear the damn building down. If you don't believe it, go down on Front Street. You see an unqualified, unlicensed, uneducated person that does not even have insurance down there doing work in the city of Meridian. WTOK, why you didn't talk about that? Meridian Star, why do you talk about that? The real news is not what's going on downtown, but the fact that this new community coordinator, Craig Hitt, and Scott Siler, you know, we seen them talking together last week, so they know what's going on. I know what happened. Craig Hitt probably told Scott Siler, let his buddy do the work.
A lot of people do that.
It just ain't right.
No, it's not right.
Because that's a sack right there being passed to somebody. And I got to say this to the new governing authority. How is it that if somebody are able to operate on city property and tear buildings down without all the proper permits or without the bidding process? Oh, I understand if it's less than $50,000, they don't have to bid on it. I don't know whether that's less than $50,000. Let me see. I've done construction work. That looked like about $150,000 project right there. So why didn't that go before the city council? If it went before the city council, how is it that it was able to pass like that? You know what, folks? This is some bull. This is really, really bad when you have these different sets of the law. When you have folks like Scott Siler, you understand, I say it on here. And I got to talk about Ramonda Walker and Tybell Lindsay. Y'all pitiful. Y'all just damn pitiful. It is pitiful that when black folks, now listen to, I'm going to take color out of it. It ain't even about color. It ain't even about color at all. It's about you not giving the most qualified person the job. That was your oath. Tybell, that's all you talked about. If you was going to give that job to Craig Hitt and to Tim Miller, why didn't you keep Hugh Smith on? Why didn't you let Hugh Smith keep his damn job? Oh, I see a common element right there. All three of those people are white male Republicans. How is it that you females, you black females, are still licking master's ass? Damn it, we ain't slaves no more. We ain't gonna never overcome, like Martin Luther King said, as long as we have Negroes like you and damn Ramonda Walker and Tybell Lindsay. Y'all don't have no damn business voting with George Thomas. He's a damn racist and he done fucked this city up for the last damn 30 years his ass been there. There's no growth and no development. Y'all need to resign. You and Tybell Lindsay need to resign. Resign! One of you need to deal with the students at school. The other one need to deal with the husband and the baby at home. Y'all need to resign because you ain't doing us no damn good. Now, we're going to take a break and then we're going to come. Richard, anything you want to say? Because I don't want to close out with you not saying anything after my rant.
Anytime when you get people that are not going to do what's right, it's not good for the city council. It's not good for the city. When you set up a situation, you have to do justice and fairness with everything that comes before you. Do not listen to other people. Set your goals and stick with them. As long as they're right, you're going to be okay. But when you start listening to other people to tell you to do something that's wrong, you are causing a problem for the whole city to be going wrong.
That's right. And look what happened. Perfect example. Unqualified person down there doing a job. See, that's a visual example of what's happening on the infrastructure of Meridian. Administration, the different department heads. It's falling down just like that building. It's being destroyed by the person that's doing the work because the person that's doing the work is unqualified to be in that position. And Ty Bell, Lindsay, you and Ramonda Walker, y'all owe us something different. Marie Franklin, God bless her soul, she lamented on that. Dice Man, take us to break. And we'll come back and we're going to open up the phone lines for you guys. Folks, welcome back to Reaching Out with Eddie. I can tell you that was I just love that music that Dice Man played. Folks, did y'all know y'all can hire the Dice Man? Oh, you can hire him. He's available for parties, weddings, whatever. The Dice family reunions, political parties, whatever. Just getting together, just outright trying to start your club or whatever. The Dice Man is available for that. Playing the kind of music. You hear the kind of music he plays, so he's very good at that. Folks, you know, like I'm putting my building up for sale. Hey, Dice, flash the number across the screen so that they can see that number. I'm going to sell this building, folks, so I'm putting it up for sale so y'all understand what that means. So I am selling this building. I'm going through BJ Lewis Realtor, and you'll see a sign out front pretty soon. And so what we're going to do is we're going to read your comments in a few moments. I want to say this to Chief DuBose. You know, he's retired, but he's advisor for the Meridian Police Department. My advice to you is to look at all those cases that lack evidence and advise the new chief of police or advise that those cases be dismissed, such as the case against Shalane Graham, if what he says is true, the case against Loretta Bennett, and the case against Eddie Holt. And also, again, I think, again, that we need to look at peoples like Lieutenant Jack, Anthony Ball, Thomas Van, and Chris Scott. I like to say this also, that Mayor Smith or Jimmy, you need to dismiss, you need to do everything you can and settle all these different lawsuits and all these different grievances that's going on from the previous administration. And there's no way that those things should go on and on and on, and I think at this point in time that you should be settling. Now, whoever advised you, and I'm saying that they advised you, whoever advised you to give Deborah Young, Chief of Police, and that'll solve a discrimination lawsuit or unfair employment practices lawsuit with Lieutenant Jackson, well, they lied if they told you that, because she's a different black female that's being discriminated against, that's being unfairly treated. And I'd like to ask Chris Scott, why did you leave? Why did sudden this veteran officer with impeccable credentials all of a sudden retire from the Meridian Police Department? I can tell you what I suspect. The same thing. Promoting people over him, not giving him positions that he deserved. See, some people choose to walk away, and it was black females that it happened to, Richard. Mm-hmm. They choose to walk away rather than fight. So if you really gonna make a difference, Jimmy Smith, come on, man. You know you ain't gonna be there for one term. And go ahead on and do something for this city and go down on the right side of history. Anything you want to say on that, Richard?
Most people are influenced by big money people, and they're not going to change the way they think because they are being told what to do and how to do it. This is the history of this town. It's always been that way, and it will continue to go that way until the peoples in this town decide to pull together and rebuild for themselves. You can't depend on someone else to build something for you. You have to work together to build this city up for what's right.
And look how those white folks packed the city council chambers about a corrupt white police officer like Chris Reed. Imagine if that was a little white kid that got killed. Oh, hell, heads would be rolling. So I got to tell you, and you know, and we was talking after the show, and one of the things that came up, and I agree, is that this is exactly the problem that we have in the black household, is black females not respecting the black man, ignoring him, and not showing him any respect. You have these two black females that's following this white master to our detriment. And I wouldn't have anything to say if Craig Hitt was the most qualified person at the town. Even your husband was a black male. How is it that you can look at him and not see the pain that's probably in Stephen Redd's eyes? Stephen Redd actually have a grievance against the city of Meridian. In my opinion, he should file a lawsuit against the city of Meridian. He should go to the EEOC. And he's so passive and such a good person. He's a very intelligent, strong black man. Has several occasions, soft-spoken, but he's too better. He ain't no joke. He's a lot like you, soft-spoken, but what he say, he mean it. And this is the kind of thing going on. And they both voted along with George Thomas, a male Republican, a white male Republican. And I agree with Lolo. If you was going to side with the Republicans, including you, Jimmy, you should have ran as a Republican. See, Jimmy never would tell us what he was going to do, but he met with them and told them what he was going to do. But because of this show right here, he was not able to do that, and people like Lolo called him out and people working behind the scene. But I'm glad we got to them before Jimmy had a chance to regroup, because he regrouped. George said, I see how it's going to be, 4-1. Well, damn it, we see how it's going to be now. Them two black females going to vote along. Y'all going to have to do better than that. I'm going to every podcast, I'm taking y'all down through that. When you do something good, I'm going to give you kudos. I'm going to clap my hand. You do something that's anti-community and anti-black, I'm going to call you out every single time. You might as well go ahead on. And one term, you ain't making that much money. The job don't pay but $18,000 a year. You can make more than that working at Wendy's. So if you're doing this and you're not making a difference, damn it, retire. Or unless you're taking money, getting paid a different kind of way. Now, we cannot continue doing the same thing. Our community has to matter, Ramonda Walker, Tybell Lindsay. Our community has to matter. Richard, anything you want to say?
I tell the peoples like this, you got to regroup yourselves and get your own stuff. I've always talked like that. People years ago used to wonder what kind of person I was when I tried to get young black men together. When I was at the Avery dentist, I had saved a little piece of money. I said, I'll take this here and put it aside. Once I put it aside, it's not mine anymore. Every 6 months, you're going to start a business. This is the only way you're going to change that. You got to get your own business. You got to get your own jobs.
Okay, we got a caller calling in. Okay, caller, young. Okay, caller, you on the podcast with Reaching Out with Ed and Richard.
Hello there, Eddie J. Hope.
Hey there, how you doing?
This is Jim Murray calling in.
Hey, Jim, how you doing?
I just now joined your broadcast. What happened to Marie Franklin?
She just passed all of a sudden. From what I understand, I talked to her husband, and I let him tell that story, but she passed while they was making preparation for the mother. She started not feeling good and went to lay down, and then, when he went back to check on her, she had passed.
Okay, I was just wondering, because I've been in the hospital for about the past 16 days. I was pretty much out of the loop. I'm just now finding out this mess. She is going to be greatly missed.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you for calling in, and I hope you be better.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Dice, you want to read those comments? One of the things about Dice pulling those comments up, folks, is that you see how they start funds for everything. And this here was, and I hope, I don't know whether he want me to call his name, but he would be willing to start. Well, Chris Scott would be willing to start and donate the first $500 toward a reward to any information that will lead to the capture, arrest, and conviction of the person that killed Levon Tucker's son, the 5-year-old. And I think that's a good idea. That's something that I would be willing to do too. So if the Tucker family want to do that, then I think you should reach out to Chris Scott, or just let us know and we'll do the rest. Okay, Dice Man.
Okay, we got Mississippi. B. Mac says Miss Franklin was a true warrior. Rest in peace.
Sure was. Sure was.
Kristen Cockrell says Marie Franklin, prayers for the family.
I agree.
Tristan B. Hampton says, Marie Franklin, you will be missed. Such a strong force.
That's right. We had the same thing in you too, Tristan, and you too, Kristen.
Stacy Dixon says, good evening, everyone. God bless y'all.
Hey, Stacey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Moore says, hello, gentlemen, from the Enchantment State. First of all, I want to say congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Eddie Holt. May God bless you all with many, many years marriage.
Thank you. And I don't know what the Enchantment State is. Do you, Dice?
No, I don't.
Do you, Richard?
No.
Hell, you got to tell us what that is. You just said the Motor City. Well, we got that. Windy City, we got that. You know, the first thing. If you said anything about potatoes, we know that.
Volunteer State, yeah.
Volunteer State.
Put it in there, Mike.
Yeah.
Michael Moore also says, also my deepest and most sincere condolences to the Brassfield family, the Allen family, the Franklin family, and all the other families in their time of bereavement.
Thanks for that, Mike. I'm sure the family thank you too.
Stacy Dixon says, sending my deepest condolences out to the Franklin, Allen, and the other families whom have lost members of their families.
That's right.
Okay, go down a little bit here. Okay, Stacy Dixon also says, I will definitely miss Mrs. Franklin, Miss Marie Franklin.
Well, I know that we gonna miss her here, and I know I am. I mean, we talk every day. But I mean, we talked about the problems in the city, how to solve those problems and what to do. I tell you, someone else is going to miss her too, and that's Miss Gordon. You know, I don't call her first name, but she's gonna miss her too. And I know that not only were best friends, they were sisters, and so she's suffering a loss also. A lot of folks gonna suffer a loss because of Marie Franklin, especially her family. Again, my condolences.
Felicia Brown says, hello, you guys. I would like to send my deepest sympathy to the Allen, Dixon, Franklin, and Hobson family. I am praying for you all's strength during this time.
Thank you. I think the Hobson family is that dealing with Levon Tucker because I think, what his name? You know, I forgot his name. The Hobson, that's one of his grandchildren, I think. One of the Hobson, yeah.
Okay. Jim Myrick says, been in the hospital for 16 days, just joined late and sharing your broadcast.
Thank you for sharing.
Bubba One says, James Sharp should be the police chief. He can fix this, but young supporter had him placed at Broadmoor Station at $66 grand a year to do nothing. Dubo's crew at work. Good luck, Meridian.
Thanks for that, Bubba One. And I know Bubba One. Bubba One is related to my wife. You know, that's her great uncle. You know, so he's always watching. I didn't know that until we talked, but thank you for watching and those comments, good comments.
Okay, Chandra Lynch says, hello, everyone.
Hi.
What up, fam?
That's Chandra. And last but not least, Bubba One says, God, my heart just popped to just hear Marie has passed. God knows she will be missed by all of us.
And that's a good close out there too. Anything you want to say to the people before we close out, Richard? And I know you're taking notes over there. Read some of them notes, man. Tell us what's on your pad over there. He got a secret pad out there, folks. We got to know what's on that pad, Richard.
To me, I look at it like you got to build up things for yourselves as a group. You got to pull together. You put your resources together and build. You set your goals and you stick with your goals. You do research and find what works and what don't work. You look at history, and once you see history, you know this is not working. You got to change your direction. Research. Know which direction to go. Get good counsels. Good counsel. If you don't get good counsel, you're going to do things wrong. Good counsel will make anything better. You have to get more than a few. Get a lot of good counsels.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And one of the things that I didn't talk about, folks, is Thomas Adams. I don't know a lot about him, but I want to welcome him, and I think he'll do a good job. I hadn't heard anything bad about him. I heard a number of good things about him, and I think he'll do an excellent job, and we don't have to wait and see with that. I think the council got that right. Also, to the new fire chief, I don't know anything about you, and so I want to welcome you to your new position also. I think, again, that the council got that right. We can't have everybody black, too, but I hear you talking in the back. But for us, Tim Miller's being CAO, the council did not get that right, because we have more qualified people that would have been ideal for that position. When you look at how this city's in dire strait, then there's no way that person should be a CAO. And also definitely disagree with Craig Hitt being anyone being placed over Stephen Redd. Stephen Redd should have been the next one in line. And I understand it's a we're position. Jimmy Smith, you said we can do better. How is it that, again, you got to be just like those same two black females that voted with George Thomas, because you seem to hate your race for some reason. And it's like that, Richard. A lot of times we hate our own race. We hate our own self. We deny our own self. And how we do that is by our actions. But we need to embrace who we are. But the thing of it is that we have little children out there that are watching all of this. Do we really want to continue to promote white superiority? And what we want is fairness. We're moving toward a diverse society. We're not the time when white folks is in charge and running everything. Those times are long gone, Richard. It's diversity. You see every race of people in America. It's a true melting pot, and it's like that in this city. But one thing that I do know that's factual is that we have a majority situation where the citizens in this city that are majority are black folk. And you can tell that, Ty, that's the reason why you got that job. That's the reason why you got that job, Ramonda. Jimmy, that's the reason why you got that job. A lot of the people you bought Craig Hitt, who did not vote for you, and rewarding him over someone such as Stephen Redd, who probably did vote for you. Man, this stuff is just, if he didn't vote for you, he voted in the city election because he lived in the city. This is just wrong. And I want to do a recap before I go. I want to point out how Scott Solly letting somebody work down there. He should be fired. I'm going to see if he's going to be fired. Mm-hmm. He needs to be fired. He needs to be fired. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
He done gave a permit to somebody to do work on city property that does not have a license or insurance.
You're breaking the law. When you break the law, you should be reprimanded for it. I don't care who you are.
That's right.
You put these laws in position and you say, I got to have this, I got to have that. But then you turn right around and say, you don't have to have. That's wrong.
Man, he done told people that own property they can't do anything to it. These are black folks, such as Kendrick Morris. His house, he can't work on it. And then starting to put him in jail. But you let this white person down there, I don't even know who owns the company. They don't have insurance or nothing. I'm going to keep saying to Scott, your ass needs to be gone. You retired from the phone company. The phone company does a good job. Take your damn money and go somewhere else. Should go work at Walmart in another city or state. Thank y'all for listening in. Dice Man, take us home.